they sent me back, they created me, consumed by the I'm gonna share with you some studio plugins and effects that you can use to record your death metal vocals with. So the flow of this video is gonna work like this. I'm gonna share the track with vocals with a full mix, and then I'm gonna let you hear how the vocals sound like by themselves with and without the plugins and effects. So here's the first death metal track. Time, they sent me back, they created me to destroy you, everything you built. Sabotage your work, eradicate path, mission of deceit, eliminate the threat that never existed. You're the chosen one in the woods of time. Now I say. Now, just a quick plug, guys. I know a lot of you recognize that song. Those who don't, that song is called Masterpiece off my album titled Masterpiece. Piece is spelled P-E-A-C-E. You can find that on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all those good places. Just look up my name, or you can click on the link in the YouTube description here. That'll take you to my website, and I have all those sources listed there as well. So now I want you to hear the single track, and we're gonna hear that first without any effects or plugins at all. So here it is. Time, they sent me back, they created me to destroy you, everything you built, sabotage your work, eradicate path, mission of deceit, eliminate the threat that never existed. You're the chosen one in the woods of time. Now I say. Now when you turn on the effects, this is how it sounds. Time, they sent me back, they created me to destroy you, everything you built, sabotage your work, eradicate path, mission of deceit, eliminate the threat that never existed. You're the chosen one in the woods of time. Now I say. Alright guys, now I'm going to share the details of the plugins and effects that I'm using here. But make sure you hang around after this, guys, because I'm also going to share what I use for my death metal screams. Alright guys, so we are in the studio, like literally in the studio, because we're here inside the screen. It's kind of like a Matrix, you know. Alright, so this is going to be like stupid simple, guys. So I basically have a compressor and EQ plugin here. So I actually bought this plugin many years ago, and I have used it for vocals since. I really like this, but if you don't want to buy anything, if you're on a budget, just take a screenshot of this, okay? And mimic my settings in the EQ and the compressor that you have that comes with your recording software. So you can do that. Just take a screenshot and do that. But let me just go over a couple of things that's important about my settings here. So this specific plugin allows 2 compressors. So you see my first compressor over here. You see that setting at 26, and then my second compressor at 32 here. And there's a gain control. Again, you could probably just put 2 compressors in your studio, right, and mimic these settings. That would be fine as well. The reason I use this, guys, I can't tell you. All I can tell you is I just played around with these settings until it sounded, what I thought was good for my vocals, for death metal vocals. The same with the EQ. So you see the EQ up here. You can see where my levels are, right? My lower end here, I've got the mids coming here, and you got some highs up here. Again, if you want to take a screenshot of this and and mimic my settings in your free plugins that come with your studio, feel free to do so. But it wouldn't hurt to check out Voxengo Voxformer. This is a solid plugin for vocals. So next, I want to go over to the reverb that I use. This is the PreSonus Studio One. It's one of the stock plugins that comes with Studio One, and it's a pretty cool plugin. But again, if you want to take screenshots of this, do that now. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's gone. I'm kidding. It's still there. I use a little bit of reverb though on death metal vocals because it gives it a little bit more punch. You don't want to use too much though for death metal, because then you're singing death metal, so it'll sound muddy if you use too much. So kind of play around, like this reverb setting, it may or may not work for you. Just play around with the reverb, but I just encourage you, use some, don't use too much, don't overdo it. All right guys, now I want to share with you those death metal screams. This is more of that like really dry death metal scream. There's a lot of death in there. Consumed by the
Now, that's from a song called Dragon's Flame. That's also on the Masterpiece album. And remember, I do have a link in the YouTube description here to go check that out. But now I want to share some additional effects that I use for this particular vocal style. All right, now for the death metal screams. Man, it sounds so evil and cool. So the two things I want to highlight here though, one is I also use some delay. As you can see here, this is these next two plugins I'm going to show you come with my studio software, and I try to use those as much as possible because, you know, for one, most of the studio software, they actually come with some really decent plugins these days. Again, this is PreSonus Studio One, but take screenshots of these guys. Take screenshots if you want to mimic these, or if you're using Studio One software, take a screenshot of this and just use this plugin, the analog delay. But now I've got the mix up kind of high on the screams because the screams, you know, I want some substance to that. And again, when I record my screams in the full mix, I usually do 2 tracks. You know, I kind of layer those a little bit. But yeah, I do, my mix for delay is at like 30%. The feedback is 11%. Sometimes I do the feedback a little bit more than that if I want that, you know, extreme delay to like ring out after I finish the vocal line. But yeah, that's the delay. Again, take a screenshot of this if you guys want to mimic that setting there. To add depth to my scream vocals, I've got a chorus plugin here. Okay, so this, again, this is the Studio One, PreSonus Studio One stock plugin. Now, look here where it says mode, where I'm doing my cursor here. I don't actually have it on chorus, I have it on doubler. And this, if you have a chorus plugin that has this function, this capability to do a doubler, I definitely recommend using that on your screams because that is going to help fill in those dead spots and it's just going to push that scream to the next level. So it's going to make it sound really, really cool. So, you know, again, guys, take a screenshot of this, of my settings here. And you know, if you have PreSonus Studio One, use this chorus plugin. It's pretty cool. Or try to mimic the setting in whatever plugin you're using. There's one thing I want to clear up real quick, guys. So when you heard the full mix, I was not lip singing to that. What I did was I dumped my tracks from the studio for those songs down without vocals and just sang new vocal parts for this video. So I want to let you guys know that. Secondly, when you heard the full mix, I actually recorded 2 vocals for those parts. So like the death metal vocals, I record a track, then I record another track, the same thing, and I'll play around with the volumes there just to kind of help fill in those dead spaces. I will do another tutorial on recording death metal vocals, like the techniques and all that I use. So I think that might be interesting to a lot of you. So guys, let me know if you have any questions at all. Just leave those in the comments. You guys know I always respond to you. And thank you so much for watching this video. Again, check out the link in the YouTube description. That's gonna go to my Masterpiece album. That was my first album with death metal vocals on it. So I've also got some links in the description going to some lyric videos from that album, so make sure you check those out as well. Just click on the YouTube description below. Guys, thank you for watching, thank you for all the support, and until next time, as always, keep it metal.